Hello, Mr. Ashley. How are you today?
Doing great.
Okay, so we're going to start off with the abdominal assessment, neurological assessment, and musculoskeletal assessment. You can go ahead and lay back for me. Very good. So first we're going to be looking at the abdominal region, the 4 quadrants, looking for any bruising, striae, any hernias, anything that is abnormal. I'm going to be auscultating, percussing, and palpating as well. So first I'm going to auscultate and listen to the 4 quadrants, finding the belly button, dividing it into 4 quadrants, listening for those vowel sounds to see if they're hyperactive or hypoactive. All right, then we're going to listen a little bit above the belly button for any kind of aortic bruit, a little bit off to the side of the belly button on the right and the left for the any renal stenosis if we hear a renal bruit. And then down a little ways from that we can hear our iliac bruit if there is one present. Nope, I listened over here. Very good. Okay. All right. So now we're going to percuss. We're going to want to hear a tympanic sound over the bowels. A couple of percussions in each quadrant. Very good. Now we're going to palpate lightly at first, and then deep palpation, looking at the patient's face to see if there's any grimacing or any signs of pain. Do you have any pain?
No.
No? Okay. All right, so then a deeper palpation, feeling for any masses or anything out of the ordinary. Then with the liver, we're going to put our left hand under the lower end of the rib cage, and then you can find the rib cage here, and can reach under and try to feel the lower edge of the liver as the patient breathes in and then breathes out. Okay. And then over here with the spleen, if it's enlarged, you'll be able to feel it a little bit easier, because it seems that you can only feel it normally in about 5% of patients. So, very good. So let's see. So now we're going to, and you can also feel for any aortic pulsation in the middle, right above the belly button. In some individuals, it's maybe easier to feel than others. Okay, you can go ahead and sit up for me. We're going to do the cranial nerves. You can do the olfactory nerve, cranial nerve number 1 test, which is with smell, by having the patient close one nostril and passing common sense, just cinnamon over, have them smell the scent, but we won't do that here. Okay, so optic nerve, we're going to look for perla, look to see if our pupils are equal, round, reactive to light, and do they accommodate. So I'm just gonna brighten here, so very good. And then I'm gonna have you follow the pen in, and then we're gonna go into our 6 cardinal gazes, which is looking at the oculomotor nerve, the trochlear nerve, and the abducens nerve, which is cranial nerve number 6. By watching the eye movements, we're looking for any kind of strabismus or anything where the eyes are not tracking appropriately. Very good. Okay, now we're going to go into our 5th cranial nerve, the facial nerve. You'll smile for me, and then puff out your cheeks. Very good. Raise your eyebrows for me. Good. And then close your eyes real tight. Very good. You should be able to open your eyes. Okay, very good. All right, and then we're gonna do check cranial nerve, number 8, the auditory nerve. So I'm gonna stand behind you. I'm gonna whisper 3 numbers or letters, and you repeat what I've said. Okay?
ABC. ABC.
And then, of course, you can do the Weber or Renee test too if you feel like there's a conductive or sensory hearing loss as well. Let's see, we're gonna go into the cranial nerve number 11, the spinal accessory. You'll shrug your shoulders against resistance for me. Very good. And then relax. You'll turn your face into my hand. Good. Turn your face into my hand. Good. And then if you'll stick out your tongue for me. This is the hypoglossal. Good. And then go side to side with it. Good. I'm looking for any variations in that. And then we're going to look at the vagus nerve. You stick out your tongue for me. And the gag reflex. So on either side. Very good. And say ah. And we're looking for the raising of the uvula as well with that. And then we're going to go into our reflexes. So ideally you would like the feet to be dangling. So we're going to try our best here. All right. All right, so we'll say 2 plus 2 on those, which is a normal reading. So then we're going to do bicep and tricep. And just bend your arm, kind of relax it for me. Okay, very good. All right. Now we're going to test a sensation. I've got a cotton swab, so he's either gonna feel a sharp edge or a soft edge. All right.
Soft. Sharp. Soft. 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 Soft.
Okay, very good. And then we're going to do a strength check. So I'm going to have you squeeze my fingers. Good. Now pull me toward you. Good. Okay. Put your hands on my hands and push me away. Push. Good. Arms up like you're holding a pizza box. Good. Close your eyes for me. We're looking for any pronator drift that could, mean one side is weaker than the other. Okay. Good. You can open your eyes for me. Very good. I want you to raise this leg against resistance. Good. Raise this leg against resistance. Excellent. Go ahead and kick out for me like you're kicking a soccer ball. Go ahead and kick out for me and back against resistance. Let's do back against resistance on this one. Very good. All right, I'm going to have you push down on my hands like a gas pedal. Good. And then bring your toes up to your nose. Excellent. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll, since we're at your feet, let's go ahead. If you'll do range of motion with your ankles, rotate your ankles. Very good. And let's do your knees. If you can lift your knee and straighten it out. Okay, and this one. And then I'm going to have you cross your knee over. Good. And then just the other one. And turn it. Okay. All right. And let's see here. Arm-wise, let's if you'll hold your arms out straight and then out to the sides and then up. Good. Now take one arm and go, and then the other arm. Very good. Now come underneath. Good. And then do the other one. So those last 4 movements were the Atlee scratch test, which can show dexterity. And then for the other specialized musculoskeletal exam technique, we're going to do the drop test. So I'm going to have you Hold your arms out to the side laterally. Good. Now slowly lower your arms. Very good. So if there's a torn rotator cuff or something like that, then the patient's not able to control that downward movement very well. They might just drop their arms quickly because it either hurts or they lose that mobility, that strength and mobility. Okay, so let's do range of motion with your elbows. Go ahead and bend your elbows up and then down, and then I guess we'll cross shoulder. Good. And then cross the other one. Excellent. And then wrist, hold them out, and then go side to side. Very good. Alrighty. So now we're gonna do a little walk test with you. So if you'll come over here, I'll have you just walk normally several steps. Good. And then you can walk back. Excellent. Now let's do toe to heel. Very good. Excellent. And of course we're moving quickly for the sake of the video, but of course in a real exam you could have them walk as much further, or as long as it, as much as it, I can't talk, let's see, as long as you would need to, whatever amount of time you would need to assess them. Okay, so now you are going to, let's see, walk on your heels. Very good. And then you're gonna walk on your toes. Excellent. You can go back. And then if you wanna come right here, I'm gonna balance you on one side. Stand on one foot and you're just gonna bend slightly. Excellent. And then the other side. Very good. Okay. And then you also can have them hop in place or do something like that. Yes. Very good. Okay. And then let's see, we're gonna do a scoliosis check. So I'll have you put your hands together and just So you're looking for the back to be not necessarily straight, because there is some curvature to the back, but for it to not be, from one side to not be higher than the other. You want an even plane. Then you're looking at the spinal column to make sure that there's no S or C-shaped curvature to it. You can just follow along like that as well. Okay, all right, you can go ahead and stand up for me. And let's see, I guess one more coordination test that we could do is if you take your palms on your legs and then flip over to open palms, just to see how well they can coordinate the back and forth motion. Good. And then also what we call piano fingers, just touching fingers. Very good. All right, now I'm going to put my finger here. I want you to touch your nose and then, or touch my finger, touch your nose, and back and forth. And I'm going to move my finger. I want to see how well they can do this. Very good. And there's other tests that you can do as well, where they may close their eyes, and after a period of doing nose to finger, then have them close their eyes and see if they can still like basically have that muscle memory, and to check their spatial awareness. So that concludes the assessment for today.